Thinking of buying a co-op apartment in New York City? In this Hauseit tutorial video, we'll share the most important questions for you to ask when buying a co-op in New York City. Since you're buying, you may also be interested in estimating your buyer closing costs in New York City using Hauseit's interactive closing cost calculator, available at www.hauseit.com. You can also save money on your purchase by requesting a Hauseit buyer closing credit. What are the co-op's financial requirements? Co-op buildings in New York City almost always have stricter financial requirements than mortgage lenders. A typical co-op building in New York City will have a debt-to-income ratio requirement, a post-closing liquidity guideline, as well as a minimum percentage down requirement. The debt-to-income ratio measures the percentage of your monthly income which goes towards the carrying costs of the co-op apartment, including the monthly maintenance and mortgage payment. While banks typically look for a debt-to-income ratio between 35% and 42%, the average co-op in New York City is looking for something between 25 to 30%. Most co-ops in New York City will also require that applicants have at least 1 to 2 years' worth of maintenance and mortgage payments available in liquid assets after closing and paying buyer closing costs. Most co-ops also have a minimum down payment requirement of 20%, and stricter co-op buildings may require up to 50% down. How easy is it to sell apartments in the co-op? In addition to the co-op's financial requirements, the building may also have other policies which will make it more difficult for you to sell your apartment in the future. For example, does your co-op prohibit parents buying for children, pied-à-terres, co-purchasing, or guarantors? The fewer types of purchase structures the building permits, the fewer numbers of buyers you'll be able to market to when it comes time to sell. Is there a co-op flip tax? Does the co-op charge a flip tax? If so, how much is it? And is the buyer or seller responsible for paying it? The most common co-op flip tax in New York City is 1 to 2% of the sale price. Flip tax comes in many shapes and sizes, which include a percentage of the sale price, a percentage of profits, a per-share amount, or some combination of these methods. A co-op may also change its flip tax from time to time by holding a shareholder vote. Making sure the co-op's flip tax is reasonable is an important way to minimize your seller closing costs down the line. What is the sublet policy? Co-ops are less expensive than condos, partly due to the fact that most co-ops have sublet restrictions, which deter investors from buying them. A typical co-op sublet policy in New York City permits subletting 2 out of every 5 years after you've lived in the apartment for 1 to 2 years. Stricter sublet policies and/or high subletting fees will turn off prospective buyers, devaluing your apartment and making it harder to sell altogether. What is the 5-year monthly maintenance increase history? Co-op buildings with a history of recurring maintenance increases of more than 5% a year should be avoided. One great way to determine how financially responsible a co-op has been is to request the most recent 5-year history of monthly maintenance increases. What capital improvement projects are on the horizon? All co-ops and condos in New York City require costly capital improvement projects from time to time in order to maintain the most expensive elements of the building. These include elevators, roof, facade, and the boiler. Finding out the condition of these items is especially important if you're buying into a smaller building, since there are fewer shareholders to split up the cost of future repairs.